We're unpacking abstract nouns and putting the participants back into the process of the economics of the Black Death. Because economics isn't a thing, it's a process, and we can unpack it by asking the question, who's doing what? And once we do that, we get closer to the meaning, closer to the evidence, what really happened in the 14th century, because the Black Death comes in the middle of an economic crisis, a series of failed harvests. And King Edward III desperately taxing his population to pursue the 100 Years' War against the French. But who is producing anything in medieval Europe? It's being done by peasants in outdated agricultural practices, highly unreliable ones. In the meantime, the population has doubled. It's perhaps 4 million people, double what's recorded in the Doomsday Book. And with a subsequent growth of population, there's a growing demand for food and a growing interest in trade, and trade routes are opening up across Europe, and trade routes coming from Asia into Europe, into crowded port towns, crowded cities is the ideal opportunity for the transmission of the deadly bubonic plague. We're unpacking abstract nouns and putting the participants back into the process. What does the king do apart from charge taxes? Apart from later on desperately try to control rising wages as his labour force is cut by perhaps a half. And there are clear medieval sources documenting agricultural labourers demanding increasingly high wages for work, and if they don't get it, simply walking out of serfdom and never coming back, because the feudal exchange of loyalty and labour in exchange for protection is breaking down. The king and the nobles cannot protect their populations against the disease, and neither can the church legitimize the clear and apparent inequality of the feudal system, its incapacity to adapt to a new situation. And the Black Death is part of a major socio and economic change, a transformation happening across Europe, which ultimately ended the agrarian revolution and the industrial revolution and new methods. So while wages go up and peasants cease to be serfs and are able to negotiate wage increases, at the same time, the nobility has an opportunity to accumulate capital, because nobles die as well. And medieval sources make it very clear that some individuals in medieval Europe are able to massively increase their wealth as relatives die out without heirs. And this accumulation of capital makes them very powerful individuals in the future in their capacity to increase production with the use of capital. Part of the growth of towns and the emergence of a new class of people outside of the feudal system. The bourgeoisie. That's unpacking abstract nouns and putting the participants back into the process. Or unpacking abstract nouns and putting the participants back into the process of the economics of the Black Death.